Good morning. Today we're going to be taking a look at Bitcoin, XRP, some liquidity, along with the Sigma coin. So, all right, we've got Bitcoin here. Bitcoin has got a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and now we're in our fifth wave for the larger degree move, of which we've done 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going into the fifth wave higher. So that should take the rest of the crypto market up with it as it expands past this region. And you can see that we have a potential target where we go on the futures market, and we have, in the same count that we're doing, a potential squeeze up here to as high as 84.6, 84.5-ish to close this large gap that we have here before we have to cool off and kind of move through that region. So we may only fill like part of it, but that's what I'm expecting, is that this squeeze should take us back up into at least a partial gap fill before we have to cool off for a corrective move after this nice run that we have here. Okay, with that, we jump over to XRP itself, and XRP is working its way higher. So now, two different worlds that we can live in here. So here's your bullish count that we have for XRP. We have a wave 1, 2, 3, and this could be, in fact, a triangle. And so we would be looking at a squeeze up to about $1.45, and then another backtest move here, and then a final move like into a Bitcoin retracement where we have an explosive fifth wave to the upside, and that would take us up and out of here from this local time region. So this would make this count as an ABC down, ABC up, 5 waves down with another ABC up, and then another ABC down, and that's all this crazy drama for this E leg that we have here. So that's our bullish potential count, and that would mean that we would be setting lower highs, right? So we'll be watching that. Okay, so that's the bullish count. Now, the bearish count, what are we doing here? Well, instead of all this fun stuff, we've got this corrective move, right? So that was all we can get, was a corrective move to the upside. And now we're going to be in the process of breaking down. And that breaking down process would mean that this doesn't get any higher than where a retrace would put us at on this leg. And when that happens, we end up rolling over and capitulating and dropping down to a 5-wave move to the downside that could take us potentially even below the low or the origin of this wave move here. And this would be an amazing opportunity to start buying some XRP on the cheaps. So so we have that set up here, and with this you have an internal ABC play out here that was ended up being front ran from the equal measured move. So we were supposed to get up to $1.4706. Couldn't quite muster it, only got up to $1.46 yesterday, and then it's like bleh, and then this goes to be an ABC up, and then it goes bleh, right? So one of these two universes, you decide which of the two that you're in, but the good news is that regardless, this move is up for the short period. How high is more of the question rather than how much more it goes. So right now, the expectation though is higher, and how we traverse this area is going to be key. And maybe this is even a larger ABC structure where we end up having an A leg, a B leg with an ABC here, and this becomes our C, which stops us out at $1.4706. So still that big challenge area of $1.4706 is the key. So hopefully we can get up there. That'd be pretty nice, and if we can continue, even nicer. So yeah, that's basically what we'll be checking. So I think a move up to about $1.45 to $1.46 is extremely easy. And then the question is, do we backtest a higher low, send, or do we roll over and capitulate? And that's all going to be dependent upon, do we get a squeeze into Bitcoin's final retrace move, which would be right here, squeeze higher, retrace for a 2, and then that's when most of your alts will run, and then this goes blah, and the alts go blah with it. So we'll be checking into that. Now, VLO data is intriguing because it shows us that a majority of the open interest right now on XRP is short, not heavily overdone. So it's going to be a good squeeze up to those guys and get them, knock them out. And now we're actually flipping long. So you can actually see more longs are showing up to the party, chasing this run. Then they'll come back down, wreck all the longs, wreck all the shorts, and we're done with this move. So that's the setup in what we're playing into right now. And then finally, we jump over to the liquidity heat map, and we can see we're just now tapping into that first batch of liquidity, with more sitting here at 146 and 147 on the 24-hour. And that's our area of interest, is that 147 level. And you can see how much liquidity is stacked up here. So this is the challenge mode. Can we get up there? How do we get up there? And will we push through? So 147 still looks like it's the battle zone. Sigma is giving us some good little support here. So we had our ABC down. Now we have a little wave 1, wave 2 playing out, and I think a squeeze is likely for a move back up to the 618 at minimum. And I think that's going to go really, really well for the Sigma community here on the daily with the RSI, cooling off. So it may take a little bit, but I think it can get there. And that kind of leads into the idea that there's maybe a triangle and a continual upside playing out here for Sigma. Lastly, I was wanting to share this with you. We were on the Ticker Tactics website. We now have the Sigma Pro engine listed as a licensed to Sigma. Bam, 15 assets, fully back-tested time frame structure, and it accessed through the Sigma with a link to grab it that we're making live to take with us to Vegas. So get ready, guys. It's going to be freaking amazing to be able to pull all this together. So community development is happening. So check that out. It's in my link tree if you want to know more. So Ticker Tactics, great modules, great everything that we've been using. Lots of success over there. XRP, giving us that squeeze we're looking for. Yeehaw, with the majority of shorts, but now it's starting to get a little degenny. So we'll see how those guys get handled. With this massive liquidity squeeze, potentially up to 47, which is our area of confluence. And that ultimately will be the key area that Bitcoin will show us, along with XRP. Will we be able to break above that $47.06? So, all right, we'll find out together if we are in bullish universe or bearish universe. But both are bullish ultimately, because if we go to bearish town and we knock down to here, man, what a great buying opportunity. So if you haven't already set your stop losses, then be doing so you can purchase more. So, all right, guys, we'll check in tomorrow, and thank you so much for watching.